come on this sad evening of news that shocked the world, man. Um, of course, we're talking about the passing of Ozzy Osbourne. Absolutely rocked me, Bobo. I was just back from football training with my kids and looked at my phone and couldn't believe it, man.
Yeah, mine was the same. I was getting a phone call from my best friend who was at the concert with, and from my fiance at the same time. Yeah, not totally unexpected, but still shocking news.
Yeah, definitely.
I
Um,
I think I think the best comfort tonight for all of us was all of us fans reaching out to each other. I would say everyone on my contact list messaged me tonight, as I'm sure you're the same, and everyone else.
yeah, yeah, 100%. It's I just done a chat there with a few other YouTubers, my friend Rob, and you know, it's 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 heartbreaking, like you said, but it's not unexpected. I didn't think it would be this close, Bobo, to the show which you attended, of course. Um, but I think if
Yeah,
you
I
could,
thought he might make it to the new year, but I guess either the disease was further along than they were letting on, or he knew, okay, it's now or never. But either way, he went out on his own terms, which not many people get to do that.
yeah, I agree. I think if you could write a script of how a rock star leaves this earth, to be able to go on stage, perform one last time with your band from all them years ago, to be surrounded by your family and friends and all these other bands that you influenced over the years, to share the same stage on one day, which you attended, of course, Bobo. Like, it was something special. And of course, he was
Yeah,
sick. He was sick. Like, there's no beating around the bush. But I guess
it's
you know,
taken on. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. No, I was just saying, like, like you said, maybe he would have lasted to maybe one more year or something, but he probably would have had no joy in life. It would have been just a slow burnout, and that was not the way to go. I think the way he went, as time passes from this news hitting me, I have moments where I'm happy for him because he got to go out so well. And like, as we chatted earlier on a different podcast, it was like he got to attend his own funeral in a way.
Yeah, he went out rocking, which is how he wanted to go. And as sad as he was in the day, there was a real joy as well. And I know it was a lot of musicians that released their statements, except for the other members of Black Sabbath. I'm sure they're absolutely beyond any sort of comprehension. I mean, they've known each other for nearly 60 years.
Yeah,
So, and they created a genre of music together. Yeah, I mean, I posted a picture there. They're starting to put flowers around the Black Sabbath bench around Ozzy's
yeah,
section of it, and it's going to become a shrine now.
yeah. I can only imagine what it's going to be like in a couple of hours. People's going to start congregating there, and like you said, it's kind of heartwarming too, Bobo, where all these people, even little things like this, where you can have a chat and people can express themselves, and that, like, it brings people together, and it kind of helps the hurt as well to almost reflect on the joy that he also brought so many goddamn people, and so recently as well, Bobo. Like, I remember following your journey to Birmingham and going to the bench and going to the what do you call it, the paintings and stuff, and
Yeah, it takes on a real kind of pathos now that it's so soon,
yeah,
and to me, it's going to be like the Phil Lynott statue. Every musician that goes through Birmingham will go to that bench now.
100%. I'd say that's there forever now.
Yeah, well, and I also think the funeral in Birmingham is going to be the biggest one anyone's ever seen, probably since Elvis's funeral or John Lennon's funeral. It's
I mean,
just
am I right in saying, Bobo, that he passed in London?
Yeah, the details are sketchy. All I'm saying that is he died with his whole family around him. So again, isn't that the way anyone would want to go out with the
Of
people
course.
they love around them?
Yeah. I was
And
touching
the
touching.
outpouring,
Go on ahead, Bobo.
the outpouring of love, even from people outside the heavy metal world. I've seen Dave Fannin being interviewed, and he said he was in Dublin last night. And he asked these kids who they were queuing up for, and he mentioned some metal band, and it hit him. He said, "Metal fans don't need me. They don't need you. They don't need Sky News. They don't need the BBC. They just need each other and their community and their music." And he's 100% right. And the actual conversations I've been having with people tonight, you just realise how much Black Sabbath and Ozzy are, to me, they're as influential as the Beatles.
No, they were huge, Bobo. And I know how important they were for you and your journey through music. And
Yeah,
as a huge, you know, music fan of all genres, we spoke before, and I know how important they were to you. And it's heartbreaking. It's a massive moment in time right now, losing him. And I chatted with Rob earlier, and we were chatting about his book, I Am Ozzy. And, you know, one thing I have to say, what I've seen of Ozzy is that he never changed after the fame came. He was 100% himself. And a big thing that I love about him, Bobo, is you can tell on every performance he thanks his fans. And he said it 2.5 weeks ago. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. Like, he was so grateful for every goddamn fan that he had. Everyone.
yeah, he's one of those musicians, and they're far and few between that realise without the audience, they're nothing.
Yeah,
Without that lifestyle he has, he knows that me, you, and everyone that picked up his records paid for that. It's not like some American rock star swanning around with sunglasses that won't sign autographs.
no, no.
And to be fair to Sharon, she instilled that in him. Said, get back there and sign every autograph till your hand falls off.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
how he spent his life.
yeah. And like, chatting with Rob there not too long ago, and like the boys, Geezer and Tony and Bill, like they must be shell shocked. But we all knew he was sick, and he was sick, but just happened so quick.
Yeah, I
It's going to
think
be difficult. I just said to you before we hit the live button. I just listened to Mama, I'm Coming Home, man. It brought a tear to me. I'm not going to lie.
I would say uh, the only equivalent I could think of is Lemmy, who finished his tour in Germany and 2 weeks later was dead.
Yeah,
So, they're the two joints of the whole thing, and to go out exactly how you wanted it again is the comfort we can take from it. And look, long after we're dead and long after our grandchildren are dead, people are going to be finding Black Sabbath and Ozzy albums and going, okay, this is like changing my life.
yeah, definitely. I think the show that you were at is going to be spoken about for a long, long time too, Bobo. Like, can you put
Yeah, I
into a
think
few
it's gone
words?
from being heavy metal live aid to heavy metal Woodstock.
Yeah,
It'll be the 20th anniversary that to be shown it on BBC for two
yeah.
o'clock in the morning or something.
Could you put into a few words, Bobo, being a huge Sabbath and Aussie fan, like what they meant to you?
Yeah, a few words. I said this to you before in a conversation about something else, and this is the best way I can describe it. It's like the Wizard of Oz. When a house lands in Oz, it's in black and white, and when you step through that door, it goes color. And that's what Black Sabbath meant to me. Music suddenly made sense.
Hmm.
I'm 55 in September. I was 16 when I heard Black Sabbath for the first time. Obviously, it was Paranoid and it was on a compilation. I thought, okay, that's great. And I bought Masters Reality. And when I played that album, everything changes. And you just go down that rabbit hole and you never come out.
Yeah.
I don't believe when people say, "Oh, I used to like heavy metal." Well, then you didn't really like it because if
No, you don't drop it.
you don't go from listening to that to listening to the Eagles or something. No
Yeah,
offense to any Eagles fans listening, but you know what I mean.
yeah,
Yeah, a few words is hard. They're just they're the they're the foundation that every record you see there behind me and more is built on.
they're the blueprint.
Yeah, they're it. Like I don't think there could be any arguments with any music historian or music fan that this is year zero. The same way people might say the Sex Pistols is year zero for punk. Sabbath is it.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
even non-heavy metal bands, whether it's the TV show or just the man's name, everyone knows who Ozzy is.
Yeah, and like I guess like we touched earlier, I see Rob from All Again is there. We chatted about like how they kind of started off with the blues kind of stuff and how they developed and how they changed and how they got heavier and also how I'd love to hear your talk on it too, Bobo. Is like the whole imagery I chatted to Rob about too, and how it went to America, and it kind of they kind of rode the wave of that whole, you know, devil worshipping and all this kind of crack. I think they got a
Yeah.
laugh out of it. Like they obviously weren't, but they just kind of rolled with it. And I just feel like Ozzy's personality was perfect for that band. And I
What
think
did
it was
Ozzy say?
very
I couldn't even conjure a fart.
exactly. Like he's definitely underrated as he is one of the best frontmans of any band.
I think he gets underrated as a vocalist. And if you want to hear great vocals from Ozzy, put on Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. And I want to hear anyone get up and sing that high up.
Yeah,
It just and I'd say after the concert, I went back and I listened to Never Say Die and Sabotage again, which don't have a great reputation, but there's some really good songs on them.
yeah, yeah. What did you think of the covers on the day overall? Right on back to the beginning
I
by
thought
saying
Alice in Chains Down Fairies Wear Boots was devastating. Children of the Grave by Lamb of God was unbelievable. But I have to give it to Youngblood. I mean, that was a moment on that day. And someone sent me a link this morning. It's number one on the uh, Spotify charts in America, number two in Europe.
right.
So I think that's going to be a fitting tribute to him. And I'll be very surprised if he doesn't sing it at the funeral.
Yeah, we were just chatting too. Like you know, you'd love to see Sabbath or Ozzy's music go to number one this weekend, and maybe one of the tracks. Um,
That's a brilliant idea. And,
what track could you see going to number one?
well, hopefully not Paranoid.
No, no.
But I would like to see, say, something like Iron Man that can reach across genres and, you know, people will know from the movie as well. And that'd be a good one.
Hmm. More than likely, it probably would be Paranoid though, just for the
Yeah. A
yeah.
Crazy Train would be a good one as well.
Crazy Train's a great shout. Yeah, really good shout. I
Yeah.
think that'd be a great one. But yeah, he was so influential and just it seemed like a really good dude, a really good he had a great aura about him. You could tell even on the interviews watching. He was just a gentle soul too. Like he just kind of he rolled with it, and he kind of at times I feel like he kind of pinched himself. How did I get here?
Yeah, there's one word why he's still alive, and that's Sharon.
Mm,
Because when she picked him up when he was fired from Sabbath, he was done.
yeah,
But a year later, he was a rock star and he outsold Sabbath and he became massive. One thing I found a bit disappointing tonight, the mainstream news channels were concentrating on the wild man stuff and he bit the head off a bat and he
yeah,
took a pee against the Alamo. We're saying,
yeah.
yeah, but he also sold 150 million albums.
Jesus, yeah.
And I'd like to see any contemporary music band do that. Outside of Metallica, I don't think anyone could.
No, and one thing I touched on with Rob as well is like he had a obviously had a crazy life, but he had a lot of close calls over the years. Like I think wasn't there a quad bike accident that was really close?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he even lasted this long. But I was starting to think he was cut from the same material as Keith Richards, that he's never going to go.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's yeah,
I,
it's
it's the
weird. You
outpouring of love from every corner of the world. Like Elton John, who you would never associate with Black Sabbath, was very complimentary, saying he was the funniest man he'd ever met. Dave Fannin said he loved interviewing him. You know, Ronnie Wood spoke tonight as well, so he was pretty beloved. And I'd say McCartney's going to release a statement too at
yeah,
some stage.
Rob told a great story and refreshed my mind too about that meeting when the two guys meet, and you can tell that Ozzy's kind of almost fanboying him, and he loved his work and had all his collections, and it was so genuine to watch that interaction and to see it live. They had a great
Yeah, it's lovely
respect
to
for each
see
other.
musicians being fans.
Mm,
Like Metallica released a statement tonight and a photograph from the tour with Cliff and just like a broken heart emoji.
yeah,
And that's all you really need to say because I think that's how everyone feels. He may have been sick and we all knew it, but when it actually happens, I mean, I don't think any of us didn't have a little tear here or there this evening.
no, definitely, definitely. Like I said to you, I don't know what it was, and like you said, that changes. Um, that one really hits hard now. I kind of haven't got to see any of the social media or online stuff because I've been chatting kind of since it dropped. Um, but some of the tracks on the day definitely Youngbloods changes, and I think Ozzy's performance. For me, maybe it's just me, but that "Mama I'm Coming Home" fucking really chokes me up. It really does.
I think when the audience, I think it choked Ozzy up to the whole audience sang it because his voice cracked a one bit, and we said, right, we'll take the way Oz.
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
was lovely, that bit. And the chair that greeted him when he came up on the throne,
yeah.
it's the loudest I've ever heard at any gig.
Really.
And I've seen bands be really welcomed on stage. Just the goodwill on the day, everyone willing them to do it.
Yeah, yeah. There
And
was
no, he delivered.
an outpour of love, Bobo. Like, tell us
Yeah,
about like let's just say the day before the show or the day. I know you got a day early there. Like what you touched on earlier about when something so tragic like this happens and an icon is gone, and how it brings um the metal family together and is able to have these conversations and that, but also in the moment, in the present when you were there, obviously that happens as well. And so many people traveled, and so many people were in the good moods and having beers and making new friends. It's so good. It's
I'll
so
tell you a
special.
good story.
Yeah.
I got on the plane and there was a couple sitting beside me going to ELO, and they just reached across to me and said, "Why is everyone here in black t-shirts?" And it was like a small propeller plane. I'd say there was 500 people on the plane,
Mm,
and about 480 of them, I reckon, were going to the gig. And
yeah.
the atmosphere from the second I landed to the second I walked into the concert, it was just generous. People swapping stories. Where are you coming from? How far did you travel? How long did people having drinks together, telling their favorite Ozzy and Sabbath stories? And I'm talking across age. So when I was queuing for the bench, there was two young guys in front of me that were 19. Behind me, there was the guy in my age. Behind that, there was some American lad, probably in his 40s or 30s. So he meant a lot to everyone and across generations. And that's the thing that got me at that gig. And it crossed continents. The very first people I spoke to when I got off the plane were full blood Mohawks from Canada.
Right.
So two natives. And I mentioned to one of them I'd seen Steven Tyler photographed and she lost her mind because Aerosmith were her favourite. The next person I spoke to was American, Germans, Italians, Irish. Thank God we're representing English people. And the atmosphere around Birmingham was just great. Nobody jumped queues. They didn't mind queuing for 2 hours to get their picture taken at the bench. They didn't mind queuing at the bars. Uh, Black Sabbath IPA that they produced for the weekend sold out on the Friday. It was gone.
Really? I didn't
Like
know that.
everyone was drinking it.
Right, right. Yeah. It was
And
I was very jealous watching following your journey, and I
I
only
was
got to
jealous of myself. I couldn't believe it. We were
yeah.
we were pinching ourselves even getting into our seats going, oh my God, look where we are.
I could see I was following you, man, and I was watching your little videos and stuff, and I know that feeling, and
Yeah.
I could feel it with you nearly, and I'm like, oh my god, I wish I was there, and even more
I
so
think
now, of course.
I think the fact that 5 million people streamed it live
Yeah, just shows
speaks
you, man.
volumes. And what a way to go. They raised 200 million for charity in one day.
Mm,
I mean, and if for anything, that's a legacy to leave behind. Every cent went to charity, and they're still making money from the site, from the t-shirts.
yeah,
Uh, they're gonna. I read today that they're gonna show this concert in the cinema,
yeah, yeah. I heard
and
that.
that's
Yeah,
all gonna go to charity. Then the DVDs, So I think this charity that they've started is just gonna keep rolling and rolling and rolling.
yeah,
But 200 million, they said, in 2 days, not including the amount of money it brought into Birmingham and give that city a boost.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, and I can only imagine what it's going to be like. It's probably a bit too late tonight, but early morning tomorrow, there's going to be a serious gathering of fans.
Yeah, and I think again, like I said, that's just going to become a place where anyone, musicians or fans, is in Birmingham. Let's go to the Black Sabbath Bridge,
Yeah, yeah. How many
and I
times did you
think they
get to
should
see
put.
him over the years, Bobo?
The first time I seen him was I'm trying to get the dates right here. The first time I seen him was in McGonagall's. Can you believe it? Sackwyler had just joined the band. The next time I seen him was in the Top Hat in Dunleary, which is also not. Geezer had joined the band, and I
Where
thought
was
this is the
McGonagall?
closest
Sorry,
I'll ever
Bobo.
get to seeing.
Where
It
where
used
was?
to be just off Grafton Street, so where the street where Brussels is, if you walk straight across into the next cross section,
Yeah,
there was a club there called McGonagall's,
right.
and it was a really ratty venue. It didn't even have a beer license. The only thing you could get in there was Black Tower wine,
Oh
which is
Jesus!
disgusting.
And Blue Nun.
So people that get drunk and then go to the gig. Yeah, I seen him with Geezer, and then I didn't see him for a long time until I seen him with Black Sabbath in the O2 in London when the first time they reformed. It was supposed to be the last gig. It was the second last tour they did, and they started with War Pigs, and I just burst into tears. I was
Yeah,
just like, okay, that's it. My life is complete. But I think even though they just did these 4 songs at this gig, it's just going to be one of those performances that'll be shown forever
yeah.
whenever they mention them on the news.
What was the songs they did? They done Nibs. They done what else did they do?
They did. They did. So it started with the Bells and the Rain from Black Sabbath, and they went straight into War Pigs.
War
They
Pigs.
played NIB, they played Iron Man, and they played Paranoid,
Yeah,
and that was their little set. His set was great.
yeah,
It was I don't know, uh, Suicide Solution, Crazy Train, and Mama I'm Coming Home. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Crowley as well. Yeah, so he did 4 from the first 2 albums, and then Mama I'm Coming Home, which I guess he had to do. And yeah, that was a really special moment.
yeah. Fairies wear boots. Someone commented. No,
Yeah,
they did. Yeah, yeah,
Alice in Chains did that, and it's really suited their sound.
yeah.
Uh, Mastodon doing Supernaut with 4 drummers on stage was astonishing.
It was. I actually But did you not just send me this morning that video of the kid crowd surfing?
Yeah,
Isn't that
yeah.
crazy?
So some kid crowd surfing on top of her dad,
Yeah,
and
that's what I
that's
mean.
how.
Like, it brought so much joy to such a range of people. Like that kid, like
Yeah,
probably won't
that link
realize.
has gone viral. I've seen it everywhere, and I mean that child will never forget that as long as
No,
they live.
no, they probably don't realize what they've seen. But my God, that video is gonna
Yeah, she'll turn up in about 20 years, and where are they now?
be like the kid in the Nevermind album cover. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
it was a real good punch today. And for me, I chatted to Rob about earlier. I guess I missed out on I was too young to remember some of my big kind of heroes passing. But Chris Cornell definitely reminds me of this one. But this one was a real good shot when I looked at my phone this evening.
yeah. There's been a few over the years. Kurt Cobain was an odd one for me. It kept coming on MTV News, and I kept flipping it off
Mm,
before they got to the story. And then it just happened. I couldn't find the remote, and there it was. Chris Cornell for sure. Um, James Brown was another one. My dad
yeah,
woke me up on Christmas morning to tell me. Lemmy obviously was huge, but I don't think Anton hit as hard as Ozzy
no,
because
no, they,
that's
they were your number
he's
one,
like the
Bobo.
Godfather, isn't he?
He was your
Uh,
number one, though, right?
Sabbath were definitely my number ones. And if you were to ask me 6 months ago who's going to go first, I would have said Bill Ward. And I think probably for him it's the most devastating because they've just become friends again,
Yeah, a lot of
and
guys
him and
didn't
Ozzy to
talk for years,
reconnect
right?
again. Yeah, and over the stupidest thing of all, money.
Yeah, yeah,
And but those four guys got to say goodbye together. So you know,
yeah. Some comments coming in. People have watching from Vancouver in Canada. Saw Sabbath in Seattle. That'd be cool. Yeah,
oh yeah, I'm seeing them coming up there at the bottom. It's
yeah,
I think, and that just shows you how far reaching it is. And I'm sure there's people all over the world now playing Sabbath and Aussie albums, or God forbid, streaming it if they don't like physical media. But we won't get into that. That's a different conversation.
no, we won't get into
Uh,
that one.
I don't care what they do as long as they play the music. And again, actually, someone that hit hard for me was one of my favorite writers, Terry Pratchett. And the reason I say that, because he says in one of his books, a man is never truly dead as long as you say his name. And people will always say Ozzy's name, and they'll
Yeah,
always keep that music alive. So
100%.
that's the man's legacy.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think we're going to be bombarded over the next few days, and rightly so, because the legacy that they, so sad to say that, leave behind. It's actually it's giving me that punch again, like using Aussie in the past tense. But
What I
I
think they should do is take all the covers of the day, press them onto vinyl, and release it for charity. Everyone that
yeah,
did a cover that day, here's the album,
mm,
and the money's going to this. And they should rename the charity the Aussie Fund or something.
yeah. There was a question I asked Rob earlier too, Bobo, and I wonder, do you, because of Ozzy's illness, do you think he possibly kind of had a plan in place for his funeral and stuff like that? Do you think it'll be all kind of quiet now because there was such an extravaganza in Birmingham? Do you think they'll keep it kind of low
I
key?
I think he knew his number was up, but you never know exactly when that day is going to be. But he said,
Mm,
"Look, I can't walk anymore. I've still got my voice. Let's just do it." And fair play to Sharon and fair play to Tom Morello for pulling the whole thing together.
yeah, big
I
shout
mean,
out to
having a
Tom.
tribute concert before you die is a bit unusual, but I'm sure Freddie Mercury would have liked to be at his own tribute concert. And
Yeah,
that's the comparison for me. You said it earlier, you get to go to your own funeral or your own
yeah,
wake, and what a
yeah.
wake it was.
It really was, Bobo. Like it really was a celebration. Like there's moments that I feel sad, and then there's moments where I'm like, what a fucking way to go, man.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
it- hopefully when our day comes, and hopefully it's as far away as you know our late 70s or 80s.
Yes.
You'd like people to celebrate it. Okay, you can be sad, but tell good stories about me and play records loud and get drunk and have a laugh.
Can you
And
imagine the stories that's going to be told with his close circle? That stories that we won't even know about, but like we have wee snippets of bits and pieces. Like I
yeah,
would like to think, like you said, that people won't be sad. Of course, there will be tears, but celebrate his life because I think he would have wanted it that.
someone was talking about the concert, and he said to me, which I nicked for my reviews, is don't be sad it's over, be happy it happens. And I would feel
Yes.
the same way about Ozzy and Sabbath. I mean, without their music, where the hell would we be? So I'm happy that that man came onto this earth and was part of that group and made that music that changed my life and your life and everyone else's lives.
Mm,
So, we let's be sad tonight, but then tomorrow get up and celebrate 'em.
yeah, I think so. Well said, Bobo. I think that's a good way to leave the chat. But thanks a million for coming on and
No problem at all. Thanks for asking.
no
Sabbath
no
forever.
yeah, absolutely, Bobo. We'll talk
And
soon
God
now. All
bless
right.
Ozzy wherever he is.
Yeah.
See
Rest
you
in peace,
soon.
bud. All right. Thanks, Bobo.
Rock in pieces.